It's time to once again go over the best PlayStation 4 game deals available right now, and in this video we've also got a great console deal to go over, so let's get right into this. Let's start off with a console deal because it's a really good one. It's the PlayStation 4 Pro Special Edition 1TB Star Wars Battlefront 2 console, so you get that special design, and along with that you get Dissidia Final Fantasy NT and Warriors All-Stars, all of that for $400, which is a really solid deal. Dissidia Final Fantasy NT just released, so that's a game that you should value highly. Warriors All-Stars, not the most notable game in the world, but another nice addition. And you do get the PS4 Pro that is 1TB, and it comes with Star Wars Battlefront 2, so a lot of content for your money. Considering the PS4 Pro retails for $400, you are getting a lot of extra benefits for your money. Now, Star Wars Battlefront 2 is a game with some controversy surrounding it, but the core of the game is still pretty good, and you can have some fun with it. Dissidia Final Fantasy NT is another game that isn't perfect. Honestly, I like the PlayStation Portable Dissidia titles better, but it's still a brand new release and you're getting that packed in, and Warriors All-Stars can be some fun if you are into those styles of games. $400 for all of that is still a bargain, and you can pick it up over at eBay. Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 Road to Boruto for $22. Licensed anime games have not been known to be the best games in the world. However, that trend is quickly changing after the excellence of Dragon Ball FighterZ, and the Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm games have always been very good, going back to the first one. Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 was the culmination of the studio's work on the games, and it's a very enjoyable fighting game. Now, truth be told, it is a little bit more of a casual fighter. It's not like Dragon Ball FighterZ with a lot of nuances and depth to it. There's definitely some skill that can be implemented to the game, but it's a lot more bare bones. However, visually, cinematically, these games are awesome, and the single player mode in Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 is great. It's got a lot of the battles that were featured in the anime, but they are just raised tenfold, and they've got some crazy moments that weren't even present in the anime. This version also includes the Road to Boruto expansion, so that's a great deal. You can get it for $22.46 over at the Bandai Namco store. Okami HD for $16. Now, this isn't too big of a discount, but Okami HD is a very recent release, and at this price, it's still a fantastic deal. It released at only $20, so any discount on it is gonna make it an even better deal than it already was, and Okami is one of the best PlayStation 2 games ever, and considering how many great PS2 games there were, that says a lot. A lot of gamers will compare it to the Legend of Zelda titles, namely Wind Waker, in terms of its presentation and design, and I can definitely see that, but it's its own game as well, and Okami is just as good as Zelda. This isn't a cheap imitation or just a poor knockoff. This game is excellent from gameplay, design, storytelling. It's just a really good game. Whether you've never played Okami or you want to revisit it, this version is great, and at $16, it's a bargain. .hack GU Last Recode for $35. .hack is one of those franchises that's really been forgotten about. It was a big fixture to the JRPG library present on the PlayStation 2. While it wasn't among the absolute best, there were still really good games, and the .hack GU line of games were also really good. .hack GU Last Recode bundles all three of the .hack GU games, as well as a special fourth episode that, truth be told, isn't as long as the first three titles, but it's a nice inclusion. It's got all your remastering benefits too, better visuals, better technical performance, all that jazz, and you're getting three reasonably content-filled JRPGs for one low price. That's pretty good if you're looking for a game to invest a lot of time into, and these games had great stories as well as very fast-paced, action-oriented gameplay. For $35, the price is a little bit steep, but this is another very recent release, and these more niche JRPGs typically take a while to get discounted, so for this price, I'd say it's very much worth it, and you can pick up a digital code over on Amazon. Dishonored Death of the Outsider for $15. Dishonored was one of the great new IPs of last generation, and this generation we saw Dishonored 2 and then the standalone expansion in Dishonored Death of the Outsider. Death of the Outsider is a shorter experience. It was released at a budget price of $30, but now it's even cheaper than that, and if you're a fan of the Dishonored games, it's more of the same. You're gonna enjoy it. This isn't the starting point for Dishonored. I would look at Dishonored Remastered, then go to Dishonored 2, and then check out Dishonored Death of the Outsider, but for those of you that already played Dishonored and Dishonored 2, and you've been holding out on a deal to pick up Dishonored Death of the Outsider, now is the time to do so. $15 over at Newegg after a promo code. Agents of Mayhem for $5. Agents of Mayhem was not the most talked about game last generation. It was actually developed by Volition, the guys that are famous for the Saints Row titles, and Agents of Mayhem takes a lot of those elements, the zaniness, and the overall focus on fun gameplay is definitely present in Agents of Mayhem. It's just that at a $60 price point, I could definitely see why gamers were hesitant to pick it up, especially because it released right before the wave of games that came out later in the fall, so I think a lot of gamers were saving their money. But now Agents of Mayhem is down to just $5 at your local Redbox. If you're a fan of Saints Row, if you're a fan of chaotic open world titles, this is a game to check out. Yes, it wasn't worth the initial $60 investment, but now at this price, go to your local Redbox and check it out.
I do my own stunts.
Gran Turismo Sport for $30. Gran Turismo finally showed up on the PlayStation 4 in the form of Gran Turismo Sport, and while it wasn't that Gran Turismo 7 some of us were looking for, it is a very good racing game in its own right. A lot of us were busy with Drive Club, but now we do have Gran Turismo to check out, and GT Sport does have a big emphasis on PlayStation VR, so if you have the virtual reality headset, that adds another layer to GT Sport's gameplay. It is lacking in content comparatively speaking to a lot of other racing games, but overall mechanically, it's a well-designed game, and at $30, I think this is the right price to pick up Gran Turismo Sport for. You can get it for that price over on eBay.
So tell me a little bit about, as we're driving here, how to kind of go and unlock cars, because that's something that I think a lot of people want to hear about.
Yeah, so in these license tests and campaign mode and the drills,
Titanfall 2 for $7.50. This is a deal that's been readily available, but I have to reiterate the fact that you have to buy Titanfall 2 if it's available for this price. $7.50 for arguably the best first-person shooter of this generation. That is not hyperbole. It is legitimately one of the best first-person shooters available on the PlayStation 4, and it's so sad how criminally underrated this game went. I've talked about that several times. Just know that Titanfall 2 is an excellent game. It's got a good single-player campaign, something the first game didn't have, and the multiplayer has a lot of depth to it, and Respawn has been very active in keeping the game updated, and it is good to know that we will be seeing a Titanfall 3 in the future. But if you have not yet checked it out, and a lot of you guys haven't, make sure you pick up Titanfall 2, and at this price you can't go wrong. $7.50 after a promo code on Newegg. Wolfenstein 2 The New Colossus for $25. Wolfenstein 2 The New Colossus was one of the better games released last year. It's a great first-person shooter, the follow-up to Wolfenstein The New Order, and now you can get it for the price that it was available at over Black Friday, and that price is too good to pass up considering the fact that this game just released a few short months ago. Wolfenstein 2 The New Colossus is a direct follow-up to The New Order, so I would recommend you to play The New Order first. That's a great first-person shooter too, so you shouldn't take that as a negative. The New Colossus does have a short video going over the events of the New Order in the beginning, but that really doesn't give you the whole experience. But if you want to jump right in, you can do so, and at $25 over at Newegg after a promo code, just an insane price for a game that's pretty recent. And finally, Yakuza Kiwami for $15, $12 Gamers Club Unlocked. Yakuza has been one of those franchises that's been gaining a lot of steam over the last year. We saw the release of Yakuza 0, and later on in 2017, we saw Yakuza Kiwami, the remake to the very first Yakuza game. If you're getting into the Yakuza franchise, I could see why you might want to stray away from Yakuza 0 because that game has retained its value. It's still at the very least a $30 game, but Yakuza Kiwami, you can get it for just $12 if you're a Gamers Club Unlocked member. Keep in mind that it is just a remake of a PlayStation 2 game, so from a technical perspective, it doesn't really hold up, but the core gameplay is still very strong, and if you want a gateway into the Yakuza franchise, this is a great starting point, and it'll probably win you over enough where you'll want to buy Yakuza 0, you'll want to pre-order Yakuza 6 that's due out in April, and then you'll probably want to check out Yakuza Kiwami 2, which is going to be a remake of Yakuza 2. The franchise is picking up a lot of steam over here in the West, so you should definitely get into it, and at this price, you can't go wrong. Once again, $15 base, $12 for Gamers Club Unlocked members over at Best Buy. So that's gonna wrap up this video. Let us know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Which of these deals are you gonna pick up? There's a lot of great ones available, so sound off with your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.